Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. Episode 40, Suplex Biddies, brought to you by the Couch Guy Sports Network. Do yourself a favor, use the internet one time. Go over to couchguysports.com, go check out all of our podcasts, all of our blogs. Check out, we got a store, get some merchandise, some merch.
Cold. Like it's the winter. You got to get some
like
sweatshirts.
A good merch, get a nice little sweatshirt, you know? Stay nice and warm.
Keep that body temperature up.
But also, I'm joined by two of my esteemed co-hosts, Diego, who is always looking for permission to speak now after last week for whatever reason. Diego?
Thank you for granting me the permission to speak using my First Amendment here in America. Hello, everybody. How are we doing this lovely evening of 2022?
Oh, yeah. The whole date thing changed. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Everything's been a blur since about Thursday, so I can't quite comment on much.
Anyways, thank you for the opportunity.
And that other voice you heard was Andrew Middle Earth Wall Hunneman.
I can't believe we got picked up for season 2.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
Who saw that
obviously myself, Chris Jones here. Also, Suplex Biddies podcast is brought to you by the Couch Guy Sports Network and sponsored by our friends over at Shock Energy. Shock Energy is a drink made by gamers for gamers. All their flavors come packed with 180 milligrams of caffeine to ensure that no matter what you're doing, your focus will always be razor sharp to keep performing at the top of your game. Their formulas are designed to specifically give you a high energy boost when you need it the most, while ensuring to avoid jitters after too much caffeine consumption. Do yourself a favor. Head over to www.shockenergy.com. Use the promo code CGSN today for 10% off your order. Check out their green apple flavored box or even their watermelon flavored box. Oh, and don't worry, because guess what? They ship worldwide. That's right, worldwide. Get your Shock Energy today and let us help you gain your focus and energy back. Fellas, it is time. Episode 40. New year, same podcast.
Oh, okay.
Day one. Let's talk day one.
Ish. Yeah.
So
it was a really good pay-per-view. The wrestling itself, high quality. Pretty good. What did you guys think?
Good way to start off the year for sure. Mm-hmm. Let's dive into the results. If you've been living under a rock, you don't know what happened. Sheamus and Rich Holland defeated Cesaro and Ricochet. The Usos defended their tag team titles against the New Day. Drew McIntyre defeated Madcap Moss before getting decapitated in the back. RK Bro defeated the Street Profits to retain their WWE Tag Team Championships. Excuse me, you didn't get permission to cough. Edge beat The Miz by pinfall. Becky Lynch successfully retained her title against Liv Morgan. And we had a fatal 5-way match for the WWE Championship. Yes, that's right. Roman Reigns had to pull out due to COVID-19. And we saw, that's right, Brock Lesnar defeat Big E, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Bobby Lashley to reclaim the WWE Championship. So Brock Lesnar is your new WWE Champion going into the Royal Rumble. So some highs and lows. Let's talk the pay-per-view. Don't matter who. Someone talk about it.
I would like Diego to start.
All right.
Because that background's something else.
Look at that ugly kid.
Where'd you get Jones's baby picture?
I was just gonna say, yeah, it looks like you scaly skin in the summer.
I don't have freckles up here and no freckles over here. They're all my arms. Nice try, but continue, please.
This is what happens when you fry American cheese, people. I think one of the lows actually for day one was the Cesaro, Ricochet, and Sheamus
and Rich Holland.
Thank you, Rich Holland. I think that was
got hurt.
It was just such a match, especially with the people that were on the card. Like, you know, every time that you think of Cesaro, Ricochet, and Sheamus, you're expecting physicality, you're expecting acrobatics, you're expecting all sorts of things to happen. You're expecting a long match and whatnot. It certainly wasn't much of the case here. Yeah, I mean, some knees were landed every now and then here and there. Obviously, Rich Holland broke his nose that way as well, drawing a lot of blood, and obviously injuring Rich Holland there and whatnot. But after that, I don't know. I just feel like it was much of an awkward match altogether. It just didn't have that sass that it could really have brought on. I think it lacked a lot of ideation and whatnot. Definitely creativity. It lacked creativity on all ends. For me personally, I wasn't a big fan of that match overall. And another big low as well was Edge and the Miz. That was
didn't like it?
That was such a shit show altogether. I knew exactly what that. I think I predicted Edge to win this one. I think we all did, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But just altogether, it was crap. That was such a crap match. If I had to grade it from A to F, I give it a D+ at best.
Oh wow, really didn't like it, huh?
No, hated it altogether.
Did you like the aftermath, or what happened in the midst of it that caused the
I mean, I like
happen?
the aftermath, obviously, because I wanted Edge to win, obviously, but altogether, I was just like, not I wasn't all that entertained, especially for such two big characters to be like Edge and the Miz, that you can expect a lot more content to be delivered. I think it lacked altogether.
Yeah, I think we all agreed that that match itself was like it was going to be better on the mic than anything else because the people involved are solid, but the match itself, their styles didn't quite seem to mesh. And we got our first taste of it, so I'm inclined to agree with you too for the most part. I think I voted Miz to win because I didn't think the feud would wrap up because you can't have him, the good guy get triumphant, then there's no point to keep going. But what they ended up doing was they actually had Maurice interfere, which then caused Beth Phoenix to come out and help out her husband and chase off Maurice, etc. So as we all thought, you're going to see that mixed tag match between Edge and Beth Phoenix, and then the Miz and his wife Maurice, which is cool because she was always a great wrestler. I don't know if she's got much left in the tank, but but we all know how good Beth Phoenix was. She was one of the greatest ones of the 2000s, early 2010s, and now she's finally getting a little bit more high profile thing. She's had a few comeback spots and things like that, so it'll be cool to see how it plays out, and it'll be good to see her get her due because again, I think she's one of the better wrestlers of all time in WWE. So it'll be good to see that. But again, like you said, I thought the content itself and the match itself was just kind of meh.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I expected a much better match, but again, I was very much so wrong on that one. I think one that kind of I shouldn't say like disappointed in, one that I didn't know what to expect going in, but it just really just did not do it for me was Drew and Madcap Moss. Just I don't know. It was under 10 minutes. It just seemed like something that was kind of like a fill-in spot. There was no real animosity behind the two, and just in general, it didn't look it didn't look like a good match to me, in my opinion. I just think moving forward, they need to get Drew back in the main card scene, but unfortunately, with the injury that he suffered, it doesn't look like we will see him for quite a bit.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely seemingly going to be taking a little bit of a break, which is seemingly much needed with some potential. Was it like neck issues they said, or hopefully it's not like spinal stenosis or anything wild like that. But yeah, that's not a great thing to find out. And you could have. I feel like you didn't need the match because I feel like they did the match so that you could then do the thing after, like in the backstage segment. But I feel like you didn't need to have the match to do that. You could have had it happen anyway. Maybe just had them pass by each other earlier on in the night and say something to each other. You didn't have to do a whole freaking match.
I agree.
Again, it was one of those ones, just like the tag match with Holland and Sheamus. It was just there to kill time. And, they added, once Roman got scratched, they had to add stuff here and there with different segments and all that. So it was weird. They added all that stuff, but the main event itself, the 5-way, was super, super short. I don't know exactly what it clocked in at, but it couldn't have been more than 10 minutes. Around it. Yeah. It was a good match. Don't get me wrong. It was a slugfest. It was a fun time.
It was actually almost 8.5 to be exact. I think once Roman was obviously entered health and safety protocols and not able to compete, I think they just kind of scrapped what they were going to do and just kind of did everything on the fly. And by doing everything on the fly, they didn't have enough time to put together as good of a match as they would have liked. So I think that's why we got an 8.5-minute match out of this, with Brock obviously winning the title.
Right. Which is, I thought it was interesting that I think Roman tweeted it at like very late in the day, Saturday. It was sometime in the afternoon that he said, I can't compete tonight. So they definitely probably were, like you said, they're probably scrambling to figure out what to do. Lesnar's already here, so you throw him in that fatal 5-way. Can't say I'm a huge fan of the outcome, but depending on what comes next, I know we try to hold out hope, see how it plays out. That's the biggest thing WWE fans like to say. Let it play out. So we'll see if it actually does play out. But I don't know. So do you think it was a high or a low? Because I enjoyed the match itself, and now even tonight on Raw, as we record this episode, they're going to be doing the fatal 4-way that it was supposed to be tonight for the number 1 contender spot. So you'll probably get a nice like half-hour long match on TV with obviously commercial breaks and everything, but you'll see what the main event was supposed to be, probably.
So if that's the case, do you think Big E wins? Do you think I'm just so confused. I don't know what to expect. Do we get Lesnar Lashley? What are we gonna get here?
It seems the rumor I think it was Meltzer or somebody who said that it was supposed to be Lashley Lesnar at the Rumble, which is cool, I guess. But also, why wouldn't you push that to WrestleMania? Because you saw Lashley was protected as fuck in that match. Like, Lesnar didn't get any offense in on him, and Lashley hit him with a couple spears, got him in the Hurt Lock. Lesnar didn't look like he was getting out of the Hurt Lock till Big E came from behind and broke it up. So they're definitely protecting him to then go into said feud. So you wonder, Lesnar's already done all these appearances. Is he going to just be a supremely highlighted figure on Raw in the new year? My biggest fear is them going the route of doing Brock versus Roman at Mania to unify the title. And I really hope that doesn't happen, because I think there needs to be 2 world championships, and I don't want to see that change. But my hope here with everything in the fallout would be cool to see it. Obviously, Lesnar's now going to Raw when he had been on SmackDown. So he's still a free agent, but he's the WWE champion. That's their show. He should probably be on Mondays, and now Big E is my hope and pick for the Rumble to then win and then go on to fight Roman at WrestleMania, even though it wouldn't quite make sense because Lesnar's now beaten 2 New Day members for, their world titles as far as Kofi Kingston and Big E, and pinned them both square in the middle of the freaking ring. But Big E going over to SmackDown, reuniting with the New Day, feels like finally getting them 3 back together is a fair enough trade to have Lesnar get over to Mondays. So obviously you got to let it play out. I don't like it right now because WrestleMania season, they tend to rely more on part-timers, which we've all seen 1,000 times before. And it just seems like that's starting a little bit earlier than expected. Hopefully that's not the case. But yeah, what do you guys hope comes to fruition from this?
So for me, I just think it's classic Vince McMahon. When in doubt, put the title on Brock Lesnar. And here we are. Mm-hmm. But also now, Lesnar is now a 9-time world champion in the company.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And he has been a part-timer for more than half of it. Yeah. Which is absurd to think about. But I just think, for me, I have a weird feeling that we're going to get Lesnar Rollins is going to be the match at the Royal Rumble.
Interesting.
I think they pushed Lesnar Rollins. So for Big E to win the Rumble and face Roman and potentially be the one to beat Roman at WrestleMania would be a way to build him to a level that he has not been at ever in his career would be a big way to do it. But for me, I'm buying in on the Lesnar versus Lashley train. I don't see Goldberg's already done his 2 appearances. He's done for the remainder of it. I don't think Cena is going to come back to face a guy like Brock Lesnar for the title. I'm trying to think of other part-timers that would kind of ruin us, but I don't think that they do it. I think the part-timer that they rely on here now is Lesnar. And with Lesnar, I think this is what's going to happen. He's going to be the champion of Monday Night Raw up until WrestleMania, and he loses it to Lashley. So that's kind of where I'm sitting at right now for what's next for like Big E and the rest of the talk, because I feel like they want to save Lesnar Lashley for WrestleMania, but in order to do that, I think for whatever reason I could see like I don't want to say Lesnar costing Lashley a chance to face him, but like later on, like after the Royal Rumble, they're looking for a number 1 contender. And Lesnar literally like attacks Lashley or something along those lines where it sets up this big feud between them.
Mm-hmm. Bobby
gets one last title run, drops the title, and then he's done with the company because he got everything they wanted.
Yeah, all of those things do make sense. Unfortunately, it's very, very odd that whole Roman just getting COVID, even though it should only be for a little bit of time, barring anything crazy with his immune system. So we hope he's back, obviously, quickly and safely. Soon as he can, but it just seems like they threw a whole fold into, these WrestleMania plans that they allegedly dropped so far in advance. Now they're just rewriting everything. So it's one of those things you got to hope that they're going to be able to pull something out and do something fun. But we always hold out hope, and then 9 times out of 10 we're disappointed. So we will see how this one turns out.
Diego.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I don't really know that there's much that I'm kind of looking forward to with this storyline. I kind of mentioned last week that if it was to be, if it was to be Lesnar who win the championship, it was going to be a period of, oh, here we go, back against the same bullshit, and it is. It's that same exact period again. It's back to speculating who could be the person that could potentially remove it off of him. Is he gonna be I'm the king here once again? I can do this shit part time while you guys all struggle to do it full time, kind of bullshit. For me, it's just such overkill at this point that I don't even look forward to whenever they announce that he's won the championship. I just don't even look forward to it anymore. It sucks too, because Lesnar is a decent talent, but it comes to an extent now where it's just so overdone that it's much like what's happening with Charlotte Flair right now in the women's division. It becomes to a point where it's like, all right, enough with you. Like, let's move on from you at this point. I think for me, frankly, I don't know of who could be the person that could take over for Lesnar. It's certainly something that I'd be curious with what they would do to replace that. I think currently out of the part-timers, the only person that I could see potentially coming in and stripping Lesnar off of his title is John Cena right now. And that's that's if that does happen, people are gonna be like, that's a bunch of bullshit. People are not gonna be into it. They're gonna be like, why are we doing this again? Considering that Lesnar and Cena have had plenty of storylines together. It's just it's getting to the point where the content is just so old, so outdated, so out of touch with the fans that just becomes a point of like, why are we even doing this, with WWE? So again, like I said earlier today, I was not impressed with day one at all, and this is one of the additional factors as to why I'm not impressed with it at all.
I thought the wrestling was good.
The wrestling was decent. I think my favorite match overall the whole entire day one was the Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan one, just because both women pulled a lot of moves that we haven't seen them pull out in a while. But other than that, the content was just wasn't like wow,
But-
like I'm really captivated by day one. It was just okay.
Ooh, pick me.
But
Pick
I
me.
think
I know
Jones has a-
Jones wants to talk. Yeah,
Pick
Go
me.
ahead.
Pick me. Pick me. I
Go
want.
for
I
it.
want. I want to talk.
Fucking go. Jesus.
Just put this scenario in my head. So, what if we get right Rollins, Lesnar at the Rumble? Lashley costs Lesnar the title, sets up their feud for Mania. Big E wins. Him and Rollins finally get their one-on-one feud. Roman's like, okay, well, what about me? And in comes The Rock, and we get The Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania. What if that's the end goal?
What?
I mean it's okay, but it's not.
Were you listening, Hunterman?
I was trying to find a Tony Storm quote for the next bit, but I did not hear you.
So I said,
Oh,
what
this
if
guy's spoiling our bits worse than fucking Rotten Tomatoes. What an asshole.
Hey, up to date news, man. Go
so
ahead.
what I said was sticking with Lashley versus Rollins, right?
Right.
What if Lesnar versus Rollins, excuse me. What if Lashley costs Lesnar the title, sets up their feud going into Mania? They finally have it. 1-on-1. That's the co-main event for one of the nights. Then you have Big E winning the Rumble. Big E deciding to challenge Rollins. Rollins versus Big E for the WWE title. Then you have Roman be like, oh, who do I face? And then The Rock comes out, and then we get The Rock versus Roman final.
I mean, obviously that would be a very high selling pay-per-view. So I mean, it'd be cool. If Lesnar drops the title before Mania, I would like that. Because again, I really, really fear that they'll go to Roman versus Brock to unify the title. Which I don't know, it'd be a little weird because you have to have a Rumble winner and they have to choose to fight someone. I don't know if one of them is gonna go into the Rumble itself, but I keep hearing that and reading that, and it's worrying me that they're gonna start to slowly get rid of that brand extension, the brand split that I've always been a fan of, even though a lot of people seem to be against it. I just love that, and I hope it sticks around.
I mean, this is where they finally do the move that they've needed to make all along, which is have Lesnar versus Lashley finally happen. So if they're gonna ride into Royal Rumble and all that stuff, you have Lashley win the Rumble, so that come WrestleMania time is Lashley versus Lesnar. That's probably the best avenue they can go, because out of anything else, the rest of the content that's available, it's old and outdated. It's completely out of touch. That's probably the only avenue that they have to save that.
I can't wait until we get Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the title at WrestleMania.
As long as we get another golf cart spot, I'm in.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like the different avenues that this company can go right now, and trying to think what this men's Rumble could look like, because I feel like the women's one, I feel like we have a very good idea on. The men's one, I feel like there's just so many different options. Like there's no like clear cut favorite here.
So literally last week, wasn't it Lesnar was the favorite?
Yeah.
So that's all. No more.
I don't know. I'm very curious to see how this plays out, but I think we can dive into the rest of WWE another time. Why don't we talk about the update on the release of Tony Storm? Tony Storm asking for her release, flew herself home, and is no longer with the company. What are our thoughts on that?
So it did finally get confirmed that she did seemingly quit WWE, and because the story, at least behind the scenes, allegedly is that because of all the budgetary cuts they've done, they couldn't really defend keeping her on the payroll. You know, even though she quit and forcing her to stay because they'd still have to pay her, so they kind of booked themselves into a corner there. So she quit. She got her way out, and then the quote that came out today. That again, I was trying to find the original one. And this is the one that's been circulating around the internet. I haven't been able to find the original source. I thought I bookmarked it earlier, but the quote here says, from Tony Storm, says, WWE has been very high demanding. I missed my cousin's wedding, Christmas, my nephew's circumcision. It says that. I don't know. And my father's intervention. I've come to realize my dream of WWE star is nothing more than sacrificing my time just to put over some bitch that really feels we must bow down to her. Not just in the ring, but off camera. Perhaps I should go somewhere else I can make an impact. Tony Storm.
Wow. That's
So
it's definitely a quote.
how would you take that one in? And I'm trying to find the original one so I can tweet it out and everything. But
I love
yeah,
Tony even more.
dude, everyone went
but,
back
like-
for it. Like, holy shit, that was awesome.
I love
But like
Tony even more.
here's the thing though.
Respect her to death.
Like circumcision, that's okay. You can miss that.
Can you?
But like other stuff like that, like that's tough. Especially when she hasn't been on the show as much. You know what I mean?
Listen, I don't know if I want my favorite aunt missing out on my circumcision.
Well, I guess the live event, she wasn't. She can come to mine. I know.
Wait, Hunman, you still haven't had it yet?
Listen,
that
with
was-
the last name,
that was day one.
with the last
unintended.
name like Storm, you don't think you make it to every circumcision you can possibly make it? I mean, that's a trooper Storm right there.
I don't know if that was paraphrasing. It did say that in the quote that I saw, so it could have been graduation, says circumcision. I don't know.
Bro, I don't know, but like if my last name is Storm, I'm making it to every damn stormy circumcision I can possibly make it to.
Yeah.
Gotta
So, I
bring the
mean-
Thunders down under.
Dude, she's only 26. It's got the rest of her life out of it.
Oh, she got out at a very good time. But what do you take in as to her saying she's sacrificing way too much, missing too much shit just to put over someone who's not going away anytime soon? Where it seems like she felt, well, we kind of all speculated on that she feels like this program was her peak.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we said that exactly word for words. Like she thinks this is it. This is as good as it's gonna get. Fuck that. I don't want to do this. So she quit. What do you guys think about her obviously calling, or I shouldn't say obviously, but seemingly referring to Charlotte as a real life B word?
Just
You
say
can't-
bitch.
Yeah, just say bitch.
I want to be PC.
You're politically
PC.
correct by calling her a bitch.
All right, that's fair.
But
This
no,
is
I mean,
not a
it's-
PG. This is not a PG show. It's not a PG-13 show. It's a grown-ass man show. Let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just stuff we've been speculating for months on end now about Charlie Flair. She thinks the world revolves around her. Everybody needs to kiss the ground that she walks on, and that she's the best women's wrestler of all time, which might be the case. But when your ego gets to that point, people are not going to want to work with you. And I think it's now going to get to the position where Vince is going to be like, look, you either got to shape up because we can't find someone to actually wrestle you, or you're going to have to leave and we're going to have to go in a different direction.
Yep.
But it's Vince McMahon, so probably not. But if it was Triple H or anybody like that, I'd have a little bit more faith in it. That's just
And I still like there's so much different stories online about how if she said that or if she didn't say it. So I don't know. It's just one of those things that was kind of funny and it was circulating today. So it's cool to address it. If true, good for her, betting on herself. If not, she's probably just doing the thing where she keeps her head low, goes off, does her thing. But yeah, it just seems like that just feels like it could be something along the lines of a lot more of the talent's opinions behind the scenes, even if it was just maybe someone said it to someone on a phone call or sent it in a text and she didn't actually quote it to like a reporter. It could just be some of that behind the scenes leakage, as they like to fucking go with.
all right. So we did that. We did what's next for Big E. Why don't we dive in the last topic of the show? AEW finally moving to TBS on Wednesday night. Pretty good card. MJF is in action. Do we know who he's facing yet?
No, it just says in action, at least the last I
Okay.
saw.
Malachi Black versus Brian Pillman Jr. Jade Cargill versus Ruby Soho in the finals of the AEW TBS title tournament. The Lucha Brothers defend their tag titles against Jurassic Express. And we get the rematch between Hangman Page and Bryan Danielson for the AEW World title. It's a pretty stacked card to start off on a new network.
Yeah, I mean, that's their big... Every time they... And Cody Rhodes went out this week and was saying that they can't really afford to have a B+ program. He has said that they always have to deliver an A+ quality show. Hence Rampage, if you could see the the women's tag match from this past Friday, which was just a bloody hardcore extravaganza, which was wild. If anyone hasn't seen that yet, go back and check out all the things that those women did. Very, very awesome. TBS, obviously, switching from TNT to TBS, a lot of people are going to have to, it's a couple channels down in your guide. Like, it's not a big deal. But for the networks themselves, it's the new face of that network, seemingly, that just has like American Dad and like Avengers movies half the time. So good for them. Stack it, and then Battle of the Champions or Champion
Battle of the Belts.
Battle of the Belts is in a week or two, or is that this week?
It's
Because this is
Saturday.
TBS Homecoming. It's Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday the 8th. It's after Rampage.
Okay. Right. So yeah, good for them. They're just stacking it. It's the new year. They want to start off with a bang. Again, WWE had some really good matches, at least put together for day one. So now they're just probably going to try to match the quality and maybe just get ahead of them booking wise. What do you think is going to happen with the title matches, though? Do you guys think it's a sure bet that Jade Cargill is going to win the title?
No.
Okay.
I think there's a chance Soho wins it, but Cargill looks so good that it bumps her up the card and she gets a shot at Britt Baker.
Cool.
Diego, what do you think?
I agree with you. I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. I don't think wow, I can't think of the name at all.
Jade Cargill.
Thank you. I don't think she's gonna get the title run here at all.
I think she's gonna. I just think they've groomed her to be the next. She has that physique and the look to be on the posters and all that stuff. She might not be the best in the ring yet, but it would be a nice
agree with you
little face
100%.
to have on.
I agree with you 100%. But do you see her using this opportunity and saying, I didn't even want the TBS tournament? What I wanted was to get my name out there and to show Britt Baker that I can and I will beat you for the women's title.
It 100% sounds like a promo first. So yes, I can 100% see that.
Set her up that way, like, you know what I mean? It's just one of those. But I think Lucha Bros defend the tag titles. A little worried about the world's title, though.
Yep, very worried. They did not need to go back to the rematch so soon. I don't like that one per se, but I don't know. Did they add the stipulation to make it so there's no draw again? Did they? There was a rumored to be like some judges or something that would, if it went to a draw, they'd grade the people and it would go to that, or like
not that I've seen. I've been looking. I haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah, I'm surprised because again, it's tough to go a full hour and then come out and then throw like a 25-minute match and have somebody beat the other one without some kind of shenanigan or like stipulation. So I'm not sure how that one's going to play out. I just hope Hangman obviously doesn't lose, because I think it'd be too soon for that.
What other matches are we going to see on Battle of the Belts? Because, I mean, we got Baker and Rio for the women's title, and then we got the rematch of Cody and Guevara. For the TNT title. What else could we see?
You might see FTR put the AAA tag titles on the line. They're just another one of those champions that's still kind of like they have the belts. Or you could have Cargill or whoever wins out, her and Soho defend again. Could toss Hangman on there, but at least those two. I think is it Battle of the Belts is on the 1 hour Rampage slot, or it's on after Rampage? It's like a 3 hour night.
No, it's on Saturday.
Is it like a pay-per-view?
No, it's on TNT.
It's just a special.
Yes.
Huh. So I guess we'll see when this
starts.
Dynamite plays out.
It starts at 8:00 Eastern time on TNT at the Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Bojangles, good chicken.
It'll be one of 4 planned episodes in the Saturday Fight Night series, which is to air quarterly through 2022.
Okay, so I guess you got to wait for Dynamite to play out to figure out what the next one's going to be. Whoever the second contender is, they'll probably come in and face whoever wins Hangman and Danielson. Maybe you'll get a tag. They're going to defend all the titles, so you're going to get at least 5 matches.
From what Meltzer has reported, the quarterly specials will be 1 hour shows. They were originally planned to be longer, but they would also feature pay-per-view level cards.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I mean, Baker and Rio and Cody and Guevara is pretty pay-per-view worthy, so yeah, I don't know. That'll be interesting. I think that, so if that's it and it's only an hour long, that's probably what you're getting. Give each one 20, 25 minutes. A couple backstage things and you're good.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Diego, you got any thoughts on this?
Not really. I don't. That it's one of those moves that, like, while I'm super happy that they're moving to what I would consider a larger network, I don't know. I don't really have much to go on from there.
I just think they're finally getting themselves out of we have to adjust according to TNT schedule. On
Yeah.
TBS, I feel like that's their slot, and they're
Yeah,
not
they have
going to
more
have
freedom.
to change at any point. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think in aspects like that, I think that's where it's going to be big time for them moving forward. But I think we just need to see it first happen, because I want to see the product. Obviously, if they're going to make Danielson champion, and then obviously bring Kenny Omega back in the fold, that's your next big feud right off the bat. You know what I mean? It's just there's so many different scenarios and avenues that they can go. I'm just curious to see what they look like moving forward. And because Tony Khan also has said that they're not done signing people, so that we could see someone show up at one of these events this weekend.
We just had Mercedes Martinez show up this past week. That's just, he said he had one more surprise for 2021. There you go.
What's a surprise for 2022? We already have Kyle O'Reilly. We already know we're getting that.
Well, you're going to get the Elite versus whatever the Click or whatever they're calling it right now. Whatever Cole and them are calling each other, because the Bucks are seemingly like getting pushed out by Adam Cole and his buddies. Which is actually, I like that they did a little dissension in the ranks with O'Reilly and Adam Cole, because given that they just came from a couple months long feud in NXT, they're not just wiping it under the rug and pretending it didn't happen. They're saying there's still some issues to be worked out, which is they're not going to acknowledge where it happened, but everyone who's a fucking fan knows exactly where it was. So it's nice you have a little dissension there. You got the Bucks here trying to maybe get Omega back. You're going to get that 6-man tag match at some point, and we all know that's going to be good. It's just Omega's return is so
up in the air.
Just no one freaking knows. It's such a secret right now. People are saying it could be a month, could be 2 months, could be 9 months, could be a year. So it's like we'll see. It's exciting though. Everything they do it just gets me excited. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
moving
a
forward
homer for AEW, as we know.
Moving forward, it's gonna have to be a lot more watching on Wednesday nights. Again, because the atmosphere they're creating, the buzz they're creating, I think they have the potential to take it to the next level. But we're just waiting to see what's next, because there's still unnamed free agents that haven't been signed yet. Like, where are the Briscoes going? Where is Bray Wyatt going? Where is guys like Keith Lee coming when the 90 days up? Like, there's so many different avenues that I cannot wait.
Do we want to acknowledge Tony Khan's little hiccup on Twitter over the weekend?
Oh my God, that was excellent.
No, because it was excellent.
He's learning. This is why the CEO of your company stays off Twitter. If people want to go out and talk about things and how they were, all well and good. You can have talent defend it. We all saw Will Hobbs put out a little thing. Big Swole obviously saying some things about Tony Khan and the diversity in his champions and stuff like that. Tony Khan didn't quite respond in a great manner, and a lot of people were hoping he would apologize. I don't know if he has since, but he's feeling the wrath of everyone. For the guy that could do no wrong, he's finally seeing that end of it. So we'll see how he grows as a promoter and things like that. It's all growing pains, but sometimes it's better left unsaid and let the other people talk.
For sure. Any final thoughts before conclusion of episode 40?
I think that's all the news. Yeah.
I think that's all the news.
Make sure we covered everything.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm just waiting to see, Amber Moon or whatever her name is now tweeted out earlier. She's got 30 days left until freedom.
Yep.
So
sounds like she could be ready for Revolution. I don't know, but whatever.
Next month or so. I don't know. Be prepared.
Early February, maybe.
I mean, the soccer team would definitely take her. We need somebody to kick ass.
She's an athlete. She could probably do it.
Maybe. Who knows? But again, from all of us here, big shout out to Couch Guy Sports. Make sure you're using the internet one time to check out everything within the network. Check out the blogs, check out the podcast, check out all of it. From Andrew Middle Earth Wall, our honeymoons, Diego and his adopted kid who got lost in the sun, stepchild behind him. I am Chris Jones, and we're signing off, and we'll see you guys next week for episode 41.
Good night.